Us on Geek Blood, the show you can't ignore. Ray and Kevin diving deep into all things galore. Comic book, movie, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real, real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blood, we love it so much. Geek Blood, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geek Blood, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? That's messed up, right? Geek Blood, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us every week, we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, not much, brother. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
We took a little break. Kevin's back at work, and from now on, schedule should be normal. But
Hopefully.
first week back is always crazy, opening up from the winter and
Mhm.
all that. So we are back. We saw a movie we're going to review. Let's jump into the summer blockbuster season. But first, we're going to start off with a show and tell. So many geeky things that we could pull off from the shelf. We've been collecting shit for years and now we're whipping it out. So it's time to showcase all the money that we wasted well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It's Geek Web Show and Tell. Last month, or a couple months ago, I showed my first part of my Ghostbusters collection that I'm starting. And I'm also at the same time starting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection. And my first figure is the OG Leonardo with these cool bases that I got off of eBay.
Oh, nice.
I got the swords. I got all the accessories and stuff. This is going to be a very long collection if I get one at a time, which is my goal. And plus, I'm doing Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the same time. So, wanted to start. I always like these figures, and this one especially. I like the Donatello one. I like the whole run, the original 88 or 87 run of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. If you grew up around our time, chances are you had these in the firehouse and all that. So, that's my first one of those. And I also have Egon. That's the beginning of my collection of both of those. So, I cannot wait to continue that.
Nice. I have this Terminator Vault book, which is, I believe you gave it to me, right, for Christmas?
I believe I did, yeah.
It's just the art and craft of Terminator 2. It's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Good coffee table book for sure, for sure.
I love those. I love those type of books.
Me too.
You brought
Me
them up a couple times, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've shown the Back to the Future one and stuff, and there's a bunch of inserts,
that was a good one.
Alternate posters, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool There's a lot of cool Marvel and Star Wars ones like that too. That have the old, like the original posters for all of those movies and marketing and all that. It's really cool. What we watched. Jump right into what we watched this week in the last couple of weeks. We had a finale. We had the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 finale. We'll talk about the last few episodes of the series so far. I liked this season not as much as the first, but there were a lot of cool.
I like this season way more.
A lot of cool connections to the whole. Right. I kind of felt the opposite of that, except for a few major moments that happened, which were superior to anything that's been done on Disney so far. But um, episode 7, we didn't get to talk about it, but rest in peace to Daniel, played by Michael Gandolfini, who, if you ever see him in interviews, he's just like his father. He does not sound like that when he in this show. He puts on that accent and he becomes this mobster from Long Island like character, New Jersey, just like his dad did for The Sopranos. That's not really how he sounded. He didn't really sound like Tony Soprano, and he puts it on, does a phenomenal job. I thought he did a great job in this show. But rest in peace to him. And the finale this last week, Kingpin has his awesome epic hallway moment. And this is what I want to see him do in the MCU proper and go into the movies and do this with Spider-Man. I want to see him actually given time. And it seems like D'Onofrio with Disney has been given a lot more time as far as diving into this character's fighting prowess, where it was more emotional, more of his psyche in the Netflix series. This time it seems like they're actually bringing out the badass in the Kingpin, which I fucking love. Which we saw in the Spider-Verse movies, of course, and they're kind of continuing that in a live action way. Daredevil is in prison at the end. Fisk is free. He kind of had a deal to leave town, and he did. And the very last, one of the very last scenes of the show, we see the return, Sweet Christmas, of Luke Cage, which we knew was coming. You know, he's in season 3. That and Finn Jones coming back as Iron Fist. But yeah, he did show up. Came back to Jessica Jones, and of course, they have a kid now. And Bullseye now works for the government. I'm gonna continue into season 3. I'm glad this show is becoming a yearly thing, so we don't have to wait through seasons, which is basically what TV's been forever. So I'm glad they're going on that route.
Yeah, we're lucky if it comes out every other year. Between this and Dexter, we get fed every year, and of course, the new Game of Thrones show is going to be a yearly thing also.
Yeah, so, well, that's the good thing about that is there's not a lot of effects in that. So
now they're doing a season 3, but do you think they're going to do a season 4? Because the ratings were pretty bad for this season.
Yes, yeah, they didn't continue the hype from last year. I don't know. Streaming is weird because a lot of people can't catch up on these shows. And you can notch that up to why there's this so-called superhero fatigue, because there's just so much. There was so much content during COVID. It's hard to keep up, especially with the MCU. And then the DC has its own other thing because it's changed bosses, it's changed direction a couple of times with of course Matt Reeves and now James Gunn. So it's a little easier to start from the beginning there. But Marvel is so much right now, and hopefully the Russos are coming back towards Doomsday and kind of bringing that back in. But the other part of this show, Muse, who was a villain in the first season, is taking a new mantle, and this woman who is this psychiatrist in these last 2 seasons is going to be taking on this mask and becoming Muse next season probably. So yeah, that's where we are. And of course, you remember the brand new day trailer for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is fighting the Hand in prison. Matt Murdock is in prison. I think we're going to see Daredevil, even though he's denying it in every interview. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why he would need to see Daredevil. I have no idea. The other thing is the Kingpin part of that series. I wonder, because we talked about the trailer. It's 1970s Spider-Man written all over it, and Kingpin was a huge part of the 1970s Spider-Man series in the comics. So I'm wondering if they secretly came up with a deal to bring of course Daredevil and Kingpin in, which would be fucking amazing. I want to see D'Onofrio just grab Peter Parker by the neck and start choking him and lifting him off the ground. It'd be awesome. Awesome show. Cannot wait. I'm glad it's yearly, like I said. And another show. We're about halfway, a little bit more than halfway. No, less than that. 3/4.
No, there's only 2 episodes.
Yeah, so we got The Boys. The final season, episode 4, 5, and 6. Episode 4 was all about this hate, the soup that created hate, and he was in like this warehouse, and he ended up getting killed. Episode 5 was a supernatural reunion, the one that's been hyped up from the very beginning of the casting this season, with Soldier Boy and the 2 guys from the Supernatural show that lasted like 12 seasons that I've never seen an episode of.
15.
But they had 15. Wow, crazy. And they had a reunion. I love that scene because it had a whole bunch of Seth Rogen friends, because Seth Rogen is a producer of this show. And of course, if you know all the Apatow movies, it had Kumail Nanjiani, and Will Forte, motherfucking McLovin, Craig Robinson, and they all died. Spoiler alert. And Firecracker, speaking of dying, ends up getting killed by Homelander at the end. Firecracker is a character I haven't liked since she showed up, so that was a welcome part to that episode. And this whole season has been leading up to Homelander trying to get a V1, the very first formula of V that creates this superhero serum. It was created back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, I guess 40s, because Soldier Boy was in the war. And if Homelander gets a hold of it, it's going to make him immortal. And by the end of the episode, they end up finding it. And Soldier Boy has a choice to make, and he makes it, and he gives it to Homelander. And gives Homelander the immortal power from what we see to live forever. And that could have repercussions going into the last 2 episodes of the season. I cannot wait to see what happens. And Eric Kripke, who is the showrunner of this show, says that Donald Trump, when he posted the photo of himself as Jesus, it was supposed to, this whole entire Homelander as God kind of watered down that joke through the season because of that. I kind of figured that's what they were going for. The other thing, I hope I have a picture of it. I think I do. During this episode, there was a movie theater. I don't have it. Fuck. There was a movie theater scene with the Deep and the Deep popcorn bucket. I forgot to put it in the notes, but it looks awesome. Next up, Euphoria. You've been watching Euphoria every week?
I did not watch the last 2 episodes. I'm behind.
You didn't watch the last 2?
No.
Won't get into too much. Episode 3 was the Cassie and Nate wedding. It was just as crazy as you would think it would be. Episode 4, Rue is an FBI informant, which is in the trailers, not giving too much away. She got caught crossing the border. So won't get into too much particulars, but overall, the series does not feel like Euphoria of the past. It definitely feels like something totally different. With nods to the past. They're grown up. They're adults now. They're not in school anymore. They're trying to move through life as adults as much as they can. And Kevin's gone. There he is. Hold on a second. You can bring him back. That was weird. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gone for a minute. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
But yeah, Euphoria. I'll talk about it again next week. I wanted to bring up a couple of new shows I started watching. I wanted to give a couple of reactions to. First one is called Margot's Got Money Trouble. This is on Apple TV. It stars Elle Fanning, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Nick Offerman. Show is fantastic. We always talk about Apple TV has some great shows. This is definitely one of them. Nick Offerman plays a retired, drugged out, fresh out of rehab professional wrestler. In this show, he does some wrestling in it. He's mostly from the 90s, 2000s. And he was trained by Chavo Guerrero in the show, behind the scenes. And I know there's a couple of other wrestlers that come in, and there's a lot of nods to. If I were to compare this show to anything, it'd be like if you ever saw the show Raising Hope, if you ever saw The Wrestler, it's a kind of combination of all those type of things. And it's raunchy. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer in a role. I haven't seen her in much besides Ant-Man in the last few years. So good to see her back. Show's really good. Airs weekly on Apple TV because they don't do the full binge thing, but a very good show, worth watching. The other show is called Big Mistakes, and this is starring Dan Levy, who is Eugene Levy. You've seen Schitt's Creek. He wrote that and starred in that as well. Did that with this Big Mistakes on Netflix. This whole season is out, and it's basically just a preacher played by Dan Levy who runs into trouble. In each episode, the mistakes get further and further and further. And he's followed with his sister in the show, and they go through a whole bunch of shenanigans. So show is okay. About halfway through that.
Right.
But yeah, out of the two, I think Margot's Got Money Trouble probably would be the one you'd want to watch.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty. They're pretty decent shows. And the other surprise, which was not announced, came out of nowhere, was written by John Bernthal and Eben Moss Baccarat. Was was the bonus episode of The Bear called Gary, about Gary, Indiana. This is set way before the first season, and it's on Hulu. And we also got some news we'll talk about in a minute about the last season of The Bear. But this is basically them in a road trip going to Gary, and we all know the beginning of the season that John Bernthal's character commits suicide, and we know that because of that, Carmen takes over the sandwich shop, and this shows John Bernthal going through like a mental break.
Right.
Very little small glimpses of it, but you can kind of see where his inner torment is taking the center stage of everything. And you can kind of get a glimpse of, that's where it all came from. It was because it's always been said in the series that they can't believe that he actually did that. They actually killed himself because he was so full of life, but you can actually see it in this episode that he was tormented. So I'm glad that they did this. Kind of connection, because we did get news. We got a brand new poster for The Bear. The very final season was announced officially, coming out June 25th. All episodes dropping on Hulu, Disney Plus. So yeah, we'll be talking about that for sure. It's one of our favorite shows right now. So
same day as Supergirl.
Same day as Supergirl. Yep. Yeah, the June, July is going to be very busy for stuff to watch. So, what was I saying? And where we left off last episode was Michael Jackson, the Michael movie. We both loved it. And I wanted to dive deeper into Hello Kitty. I wanted to dive deeper into the Michael Jackson stuff that happened with all the allegations. And I wanted to watch the Leaving Neverland documentary. This came out in 2019, I believe. And there are a lot of, I'm not going to denounce anything that the people were saying that he's done, because there's evidence that it could have happened. There's nobody, he's not alive anymore. You can't really, it's one of those mysteries that probably will never be, unless there's actual physical video proof, there'll never be evidence that it happened. It's their word against his, which unfortunately for him, victims usually are looked at as being truthful, and you always have a stigma every time you get guilty. You're always guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
I will say a couple of facts that kind of question it a little bit. During this whole thing where they're talking about the allegations with these two kids that were in this documentary, the FBI had his house bugged. He had cameras. He was being followed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 18 years up until this point, because of all the stuff that happened. Was it 92, 93 when he first got the first allegations and got sued? He ended up going out of court, giving him a ton of money just so it didn't become a media storm, is what he says. People say that proves guilt. He's guilty, but doesn't really prove it. Just means he's a private guy who wants that all out of the way and not go through the court system. I understand that as well. I can see the other side kind of fighting that, but I understand that. Wade Robson, who he's a choreographer. He did a lot of stuff for Britney Spears. That's what I remember from back in like 2000.
And Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, that whole entire like pop thing that happened. But Wade previously defended Michael Jackson, and after he died, they both came out of the woodwork. Wade, I'm surprised by. It's just so shocking that they waited till after, and the way the documentary portrays it, they were just scared. They just kind of wanted to distance themselves from it. But there were safe checks. There's a couple of stories. Safe checks told a story about some stuff happening in the train station in Neverland. And the claims said that it happened in between 1988 and 1992, but the train station wasn't established until 1993. Just a little stuff like that I just wanted to bring up. Was it money motivated? That's the other big question of this. They both were looking for money. There was a lawsuit involved. They had Gloria Allred, I think, was a big, huge lawyer for all that type of stuff, was involved in this. And Wade also dated Michael Jackson's niece Brandy, which was not brought up in the documentary.
Right.
During this whole timeline as well. So it's all sketchy, weird stuff that's kind of on the other side of, right, did it happen? Did it not happen? The reason why this documentary was hard to find, I had to find it by crazy ways. It's not on HBO anymore. It's because the Jackson family, the whole estate blocked HBO from future viewings of this.
Right,
because when it came out, they sued.
And there was a concert they had to deal with HBO.
Yep.
And it had to do with that too, where they couldn't show like documentaries after that point or something like that. There's something weird like that.
It was a Budapest concert that happened in like 92. And I think HBO had the rights to it, and there was something in the deal there that they couldn't have any defamatory stuff against Michael, and that's basically what it was. So it got taken off. Could be brought on later on, back on HBO, but who knows?
The sequel's on YouTube.
It is. I haven't watched it, but that came out, I believe, last year. But when the new movie came out, more allegations came out. A whole other family came out saying 4 siblings claimed that they were groomed and brainwashed by the pop star. So, again, new movie, new money comes in. What is the motivation there? I don't know. And because I watched this, there's during the 2003 era, right before the other allegations came out, there was a run on Fox, the television station, where Michael Jackson had the interview with Martin Bashir. And I never saw it at the time. The only thing I ever knew about it was the South Park episode where Michael Jackson's on the train, he's in the giving tree and all that. But I ended up going back and I watched that, plus a couple of other ones. But the Living with Michael Jackson, Martin Bashir documentary, the thing about that is Martin Bashir went in with Michael thought he went in with good intentions, but he made Michael Jackson, towards the end of it, look bad. And Michael Jackson ended up suing him. The family has sued him. And then less than a month later, they took extra footage from that documentary, and Michael Jackson had his own documentary crew. And they created a response to that called the Michael Jackson interview. The footage you were never meant to see. It was hosted by Maury Povich, of all people. And it was just a kind of rebuttal of all the stuff of Martin Bashir kind of calling him a bad father. Michael Jackson was showing that Martin didn't say that in the documentary that he was filming. So it was kind of just a rebuttal to all that. And then later on, a couple months later, because of all that, he's trying to do kind of a safe face of everything. He comes out with another show on Fox called Michael Jackson's Private Home Movies. And this is where you see a lot of those clips now of Michael Jackson kind of acting goofy with Chris Tucker on the set of the video that came out in 2001 for the Invincible album. I can't remember, Rock My World, whatever it is. You see that. You see a lot of funny clips. Him in the back seat with Brett Ratner dancing to Ignition by R. Kelly. That was all in this documentary. I did not know that. This came out a couple months later, like I said. I wanted to watch those, kind of get a picture of what was going on at the time of 2003. Then like a month later is when Neverland was actually raided. And then the whole stuff, the middle of 2000s happened with him. The other allegation that happened later on. So he got acquitted. He got acquitted of all this in the court of law.
That's
everything.
That's what's tough for me is not only was he acquitted in the court of law, but he was also investigated by the FBI for like 10 years.
18 years.
They found nothing. And also the two kids in that documentary, both while they were under oath, testified that nothing happened, even though they said they were just scared and they wanted to still be friends with Michael and whatnot. But I mean, I know that I think inappropriate stuff happened as far as him having sleepovers with a 30-year-old man having a sleepover with a 10-year-old kid.
That should not happen.
But I don't know about the extent of, let's just say the water cup incident that they mentioned in the documentary. I don't know about the extent of that. The other thing that pissed me off about that documentary is, so they interview one of the guy's mothers, and she's like laughing about some of this stuff, like, haha, stupid me, haha.
Right.
And I'm like, why are you laughing? Like, that's like, you could be the reason why your son may or may not have been molested, and you're like laughing it off. Like you're fucking having martinis with your girlfriends.
Right. That's what made me question everything too. That's why I'm trying to talk about the other side of it, because the documentary did a great job talking about what they wanted, the point that they wanted to get across.
Exactly. And I mean, documentaries always have an agenda to begin with, especially one like this. So
for sure. Yeah. They're looking to not necessarily tarnish his reputation, but get a truth out there that could be
Yep.
believed just because of Michael Jackson. He's a weird guy. He's a fucking weird guy. On paper, he's stuck in a childhood just because that's where his career started. He did not have childhood. He was a star from the very moment he set stage at like
From
88
10 years
years
old,
old. Yeah, something like that. So he didn't have the childhood, so he just lived. I mean, fuck, we kind of do the same thing with our nerd shit now. We have our shelves full of nerdy shit and toys. So not to that extent. I don't have a Neverland Ranch in my backyard, but I don't have that money either. Maybe I would if I had billions of dollars. So yeah, I love Michael Jackson music. Again, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying any of the allegations aren't true. I just want to see both sides and kind of understand where this is coming from. And I'm still going to love the music, still going to listen to the Thriller album, still going to listen to the Bad album, two of my favorite albums of all time. So there's that. Mortal Kombat, the big movie of the week, but I wanted to revisit the one from 2021. This came out right before we started the podcast. It's one of those movies where Kevin and I were watching, and we were just it was day to day. It came out on HBO Max. So we didn't go to the theater because that was back when COVID happened. But it was one of those movies that Kevin and I were watching. And we're texting the whole entire time during the movie, and kind of the first glimpse of what this podcast could be, just because of the interactions we were having, talking and geeking out over Mortal Kombat. I remember when this movie came out, I watched it twice the weekend it came out. Just because you don't get a big blockbuster movie just releasing in your home like that. I think the first one was Dune, and then we got this. It was Dune. And
it was like Dune, Godzilla and Kong, the Suicide. Yeah. This came out after the Suicide Squad. Dune. This was like one of the last ones on the slate before Wonder Woman, I believe. Yeah.
So, movie for what it is, I really enjoyed it. It was an origin movie. It wasn't really part of the tournament. It was just an origin of.
It's not a Mortal Kombat movie. It's just a display of fighting movie. We get duped into thinking it's going to be a really good movie by the first 10 minutes, which is what they released online. And after that, it's as mid, like it's pretty much the definition of mid for me. That first fight is incredible.
The guy who cast as Scorpion is fucking incredible in this whole entire series. And Sub-Zero, the whole plot with that.
Kano kind of saved the first movie. He saved the first movie by far, his comedy and whatnot.
Overall, I enjoyed it. Took 5 years, but they finally did make a sequel to this movie, Mortal Kombat 2. And of course, from the 90s, there were 2 movies in the 90s. We won't talk about those as much. I enjoyed those movies at the time. 90s fight movies.
Annihilation was really bad. Second one,
not a great movie.
First one's fun.
Yeah. The first one's fun. Second one's not a great movie, but I enjoyed them for what they are. I liked Raiden. Who played Raiden in that? Highlander.
Christopher
Lambert,
right? Yeah, Christopher Lambert, yeah. And that was recast in the sequel.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. But Mortal Kombat 2 came out. We saw it yesterday. Overall, better than the first one. Still on the mid-level though, and a lot of it. I love the fighting in this. It was mostly fighting. There wasn't a lot of dialogue. A lot of the retcons they had from the first movie, I loved, like killing the one character who's not related to Cole Young, not related to any Mortal Kombat character. It was just created for the first movie.
I was real nervous because the rumors were that he was going to become Kenshi, who is my two most played characters are Kenshi and Baraka. I used to play Mortal Kombat 2 at the arcade. God, countless hours. And I always use
that in Street Fighter. That in Street Fighter, and of course the Marvel games I used to play all the time. In the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Simpsons, Terminator, all that shit. But of course, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter were the 2 I'd play in the arcade too.
Right.
Overall, they got the characters right in this movie. They got the villains right. Shao Kahn looked great. Played by this giant guy. I thought it might have been a wrestler. I don't know who this guy is, but I've seen him in other stuff before.
Now, you haven't played any of the new Mortal Kombats, right?
I've played a little bit of the newer one. Like I think it was X that came out, Mortal Kombat X. Yep. Of course, I played Batman, the Marvel versus Mortal Kombat game. I played that.
But did you play the story mode of X? Because this is basically this took a lot of inspiration from the story mode of Mortal Kombat X, where it had.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the stuff like the green amulet is all from that.
Oh, interesting.
The older Johnny Cage being a washed up actor is from that.
Right.
A lot of the Liu Kang dying. Oh, spoiler. That's straight from that movie, straight from that one.
Well,
because
did he die?
when you
That's the question.
well, when you play 11, he's dead until the end of the story, and then you can start playing.
Okay.
All
right. So
yeah,
I did not know that
the
adaptation.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
goes
know
into
that.
the afterlife
Adaptation.
to basically do the same thing because a bunch of them die in the story of 10, and he basically goes into the afterlife to bring them back, which we saw that happen basically here. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a ton of fun. The only thing that sucks is we talked about the opening of the first one and how dope that first. There wasn't a fight scene even a tenth as good as the opening of that movie, which is weird.
Right.
But all the fight scenes were good. A lot of homages, like when Johnny Cage, when he says finish him, and Johnny Cage just standing there like wobbling like the old school games. That was awesome. They had all the old school like they had the pit. They had the acid room, all that stuff. So as a Mortal Kombat fan, because Mortal Kombat 2 is probably my favorite, maybe Mortal Kombat 3 or Ultimate MK3. I loved it as an old school fan. I think I gave it 3.5. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, 3.5 for me as well. And I love the fighting, and like you said, the nods, of course. Playing those games as a kid. I think the only one I ever owned, I had the Mortal Kombat game for the SNES, the first one. I didn't have anything else. I know the 2 is very popular. I played
Ultimate,
it, of course, but never
Ultimate MK3 was
Ultimate.
awesome. I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan growing up, so I had them all on the SNES. That was like the big sleepover game. You'd get 10 people together and somebody would rent Mortal Kombat, and it sucked playing on Genesis because you had to they only had the 3 buttons. You had to I think you press B and C to do high kick or some shit like that or block. But I did enjoy this movie a lot more than the first one. It's ridiculous in all the right ways. There's saying watching movies to scale, and this movie, that basically means watching a movie and understanding it knows exactly what it's doing, and that's pretty much what this movie is. Kano was fantastic again. Baraka was great. Baraka was kind of weird. I love Baraka, but he was kind of weird.
Yeah, the whole origin was weird.
But I really enjoyed it. The comedy outside of Kano didn't hit for me, as I didn't really chuckle. And I still don't know how I feel about Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
That was one of my notes I was going to bring up. I thought it could be miscast.
What's his name from The Boys? I think would have been better. Jensen Ackles. If you're going to go for an older one.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Someone like him or that dude that's in all those Netflix karate movies. That's basically the new Jean-Claude Van Damme would have been good. But I think they wanted the name, and when he was cast, it was 2.5 years ago, and The Boys was at its peak rating wise. Yeah. So it makes sense why they cast him.
Wasn't that role they had tried to get that role cast for a while, and he was the last name that came up. Mm-hmm. A lot of people had turned that role down, and then he was the last one that actually took the role.
Should have just used Jean-Claude Van Damme. That would have been hilarious if they just used Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, it's all based off of that. So yeah, it would have worked.
It would have been hilarious because that's where Jean-Claude is in his career right now.
My other favorite part of this, I loved Katana. I thought she was a great actor cast in this. Of course, if you know the games, Katana is wearing all the blue. She has the fans, blades on them. She was great in this. But and I love Raiden. I love Scorpion in this. Luke Kane is great.
They brought back Noob Saibot. Ed Boon was the bartender in the bar with Johnny Cage.
Creator of the whole franchise. So overall, pretty good movie. And there will be a third one. I think it's already been greenlit. So continuing. And continuing where this left off, which was basically going to the underworld.
I mean, assuming what happens with
find
the
their
sale,
friends that were killed
with the Paramount sale.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that being said, let's get into the news. And it's not news segment without the trailer roundup. Got a brand new trailer for the last Jackass movie, Jackass Best and Last, coming out June 26th. If you like those movies, you're going to like this, because it's basically all that.
This is the movie that I've seen people say is going to take down Supergirl. And I'm like, the last Jackass movie opened to $7 million.
Everybody calm down.
But I can't wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Speaking of fun, comes out on June 21st, a few days before that. House of Dragon. This poster looks awesome. It came out
Yeah, it
this
does.
week. Trailer looks awesome, and cannot wait to see. I know you know
It's
more
gonna
about where this story's heading.
it's gonna open with a huge battle, which I was so pissed we didn't get that battle last season because it should have been last season. But Warner Brothers, I was during the sale of Warner Brothers again, so this show got fucked out of their budget.
Right.
But it's gonna be a bloodbath, that episode, probably.
Excellent. See, I cannot wait. I think I like House of Dragon more than Game of Thrones just because of the dragons. Just a lot dragons.
Second season was kind of weak, but the first season was on par with the best of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I still think Duck and Egg is my favorite. That's just fun. Which reminds me, I have to order the 4K.
The season was pretty good. Oh, by the way, I got my It Welcome to Derry. I don't collect 4Ks. I got my It Welcome to Derry a couple of days ago.
Oh, nice.
I love it because it comes with the little posters that I love. You remember when that marketing first came out and they were showing the old 1960s, 50s? It comes with a whole whole collection of all those posters.
Does it have a digital copy with it?
It does not, which is crazy.
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
probably because it's on HBO, anyways. Sometimes,
yeah.
I remember when the Snyder Cut came out on 4K, they gave you like a month free of HBO Max, so you could watch it digitally.
No, didn't get anything like that. But we got a first trailer for a movie called One Night Only, starring Callum Turner and Monica Barbaro. Don't know who either one of those are, except for Callum Turner. He was
the one that was most rumored for Bond up until recently. I don't know if you have that in the notes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
He's in the Fantastic Beasts movies. I know that.
And he's in that Masters of the Sky show or Masters of the Air TV show. The Band of Brothers spinoff, basically on Apple. He's a great actor.
But it's basically a romantic comedy version of The Purge, where once a year, one night every year, they can have premarital sex because the whole world outlaws it, except for one night a year. And if you meet somebody, you can have premarital sex with them, and that's what the whole movie's about. Looks interesting. Gonna watch it because I like those type of movies. I think it's A24. I may not be. I can't really see from here, but looks decent. Universal. Another movie I'm not sure about, but I do love Brett Goldstein, but Jennifer Lopez kind of takes me out of it. Movie called Office Romance. I believe Brett Goldstein wrote it. Also stars Amy Sedaris, Tony Hale, who I love. Bradley Whitford, if you've seen, if you saw Happy Gilmore, he played Eric, or Billy Madison, he played Eric in that. So I don't know. I do like Brett Goldstein, so I'll probably watch it. And it's on Netflix, so it's not going to hurt me. And he comes out June 5th. And speaking of streaming, we get the first trailer and poster for, Ted's back. Ted Lasso coming back for season 4. I love Ted Lasso. Cannot wait. Of course, Ted Lasso is now leading a female soccer club, so we'll see about that. And we got the very first look of Zach Kreger's Resident Evil. No poster for it yet, by the way, but the trailer was fucking incredible.
Yes.
You know more about the games probably than I do. Takes place in Raccoon City, of course. Sometime during the events of the second game. Don't know much about those games at all.
It's an all new character. Yeah, it's an all new character.
All new character
that they came up with for the movie. So, it looks good. Looks really good.
Gonna have a lot of Easter eggs to the games. Zach Kreger's a huge fan of the games, so he's gonna have a lot of Easter eggs from the games. He's gonna have weapon progression, they say. So, interesting. And trailer for Marty, Life is Short. Martin Short documentary coming out on May 12th next week on Netflix. I'm more of a fan of Martin Short, I'm sure, than you are. I do. I'm looking forward to seeing that documentary. Gonna watch that and Lauren, the new Lauren Michaels documentary. I have that as well. I'm gonna watch for next week. So stay tuned. I have not seen the new Evil Dead. I know you have the new Evil Dead movies. This one looked pretty fucking cool in the trailer. Yeah. By the way, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just remembered something. This comes out July 12th. Trailer looked awesome. The trailer that played last night called Passengers. That looked fucking terrifying. They were driving on a highway and they're going by this hitchhiker. And then all of a sudden, the hitchhiker just jumps in the passenger seat of the car,
Yeah.
like a like a ghost or something. It looked fucking menacing. Never heard of it until that day. So when we saw the movie yesterday. So, what else we got? Oh, I know you're very high on
I
this
can't wait.
trailer.
Yes, very high.
Movie called Tony.
Call Me Snoop. Yes, I cannot wait for the Anthony Bourdain movie. I think it's based on his book, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm also not only because it's about him, but because the actor playing him from The Holdovers, because that kid is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know much about Anthony Bourdain. I never watched him when he was alive. The only thing I know is he did kill himself. Other than that, I know he had the travel show that he did all the food stuff with. But other than that, I don't know anything about him. So it does look interesting. Trailer looked good. So I will definitely watch that when we watch it. We both watch it. Another movie coming out called Motor City. It comes out July 24th, starring Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson, set in like the 80s. It's weird. But does look good. And just him doing action movie is all I want to see. I hope, and yeah, it's
like
awesome.
it's like we saw that preview to that new Jason Statham movie last night. It's like just stay in your lane. Jason Statham doing Jason Statham things. It's going to be a hell of a fun hour and a half to 2 hours. Same with him. Like, just keep doing your action roles. Don't try to do any like serious shit.
Right.
We both love Alan Ritchson. So yeah,
we're gonna get a new Reacher season this year. So cannot
hopefully.
Wait. Coming out, I believe next month or maybe the end of this one. I don't know. But Cape Fear, we got a brand new trailer, brand new posters for that.
July.
It looks awesome.
Maybe
July.
June.
Javier Bardem playing the Robert De Niro character looks menacing. This is produced by Martin Scorsese and is Steven Spielberg as well. So it's got a great pedigree, great cast. Cannot wait to see how it turns out. It's on Apple TV too. They come out with a lot of cool shit. So, and this I'm very excited for. I love history. Love Larry David. Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness. An Almost History of America. It comes out June 26th on HBO Max. Produced by Barack Obama. Part of the trailer for this. He comes in and Larry comes in, calls him, "Hey, 44."
Yep.
So cannot wait. And from everything we hear, it's going to be kind of like his humor in Curb mixed with American history. A lot of the people that he worked with in Curb Your Enthusiasm, a lot of improv guys are coming in to do their turn of telling history. So yeah, cannot wait for that. We'll talk about that when it comes out. And finally, the trailer that I have a lot of questions about is The Odyssey. Comes out in just a couple of months from now. The first thing, and then I saw the internet picked up on it as well. The first thing I noticed first viewing, everybody is talking with an American accent, which I think half the cast is probably British. I think the only one that wasn't was, of course, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway. I think everybody else is British, which is interesting. It's an interesting take, especially considering it's done by Nolan. Elliot Page too. She's playing Achilles. She. But that also reminds us that we have to watch Troy, because I never saw Troy when it came out. We got to watch that like the week before this comes out. I know that's kind of the prequel.
Even though Brad Pitt's character is now played by Elliot Page.
Right. Yeah.
No continuity between the two movies.
No, I know it's not connected at all, but it is kind of the history story being told. So I want to get into that sometime in the beginning of July. We'll talk about that then.
Also, before I forget, I don't know what tier of PlayStation. Do you have PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus? Okay, I was going to say Assassin's Creed Odyssey is free, and that takes place during this time period.
Cool. Yeah, I dig that time period. I know this whole book it's a huge epic done by Homer. They're not really sure much about it. It was just one of those things that was found in an ancient ruin or something. They're not even sure when it was really. They're not sure anything about Homer or anything about the story of when it was done or any particulars about how it was even portrayed, if it was passed around or nothing. Nobody knows anything about it really. That's all I know about it. But I know it's one of those things that's studied in school and college and all that, but never really was on my radar at all growing up. So, and Nolan, a lot of people are saying this is questionable just looking at the trailer, but you just trust in Nolan. Almost every movie he's come out with has been pretty epic. So, and they're talking about an epic story where he's talking about the origin of how the superhero is. This is like the very first superhero he's talking about and how he's portrayed the movie. So we'll have to wait and see. It comes out on July 17th. So, Michael, before we left, we saw it, given rave reviews. Of course, won the box office that weekend. $97 million in the U.S. box office. International box office, 120 million. I thought it was going to get about the 70, 80 range. It made about 20 million more than I thought. Overall, the first weekend, $217.4 million worldwide. 97% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. The critic score is still low, but didn't matter. Everybody wanted to see it, and the word of mouth is everybody loves it too. So, biggest opening ever for a biopic of any kind, including music. Biggest opening of the year for a live action film. Biggest biopic in history, surpassing $100 million worldwide in a single day. Biggest opening for Lionsgate since 2015. Biggest opening ever for Antoine Fuqua. In the audience, highest audience score ever for a music biopic at 97%. I don't remember the whole list, but I remember it was like Bohemian Rhapsody and the Elton John movie. We're all below that. So, just break down from European countries. France was 17 million, UK 14 million, Germany 7 million. So it was pretty big over international as well. Michael Jackson, it didn't open in China yet either, and Michael's huge there. So, yeah. Nia Long, who played Catherine, his mother, is fighting Lionsgate over a clause in the Michael contract that promised she wouldn't get paid less than her supporting co-stars, which she says wasn't honored. She came out after the movie came out the weekend after, and talked about it. And she appeared in less of the film than Coleman Domingo, but the original script had her in a bigger role. And she's kind of fighting that, saying that she should have got paid equal, but I haven't heard more about that since she mentioned it. Second place that first weekend, Super Mario Galaxy and Project Hail Mary was number 3. And last weekend, Devil Wears Prada 2 opened with 77 million, became number 1. Michael was number 2 with 54 million. Still not bad for a second week. And Super Mario Galaxy came in at number 3. This weekend, Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Galaxy, and Michael are all vying for the top spot. And Devil Wears Prada too. I don't know if that's going to be in that or not, but in that run. But yeah, big huge beginning of the box office season this year. And we got a couple more movies this month we're going to go see. Of course, probably Mando and Grogu sometime. I don't know if we're going to see it opening day or not, but that's a big one. So yeah, the Academy, the Academy Awards has banned AI from ever winning an Oscar. Only roles that are performed by humans with their consent can be nominated for acting Oscars, and screenplays must be human authored to qualify for a nomination. I'm glad that they finally put this in the rules, because there's a lot of shitty shit happening with AI right now, especially with music and art creation and all that. And actors can now be nominated twice in the same category for separate films. So if Brad Pitt is in 2 movies, they can both be nominated. He can be nominated for an actor role in both of those roles, for the very first time ever separately. So yeah, coming up with new rules for the Oscars. GameStop, I thought they were dead because I don't think there's any around here anymore. Are preparing to put an offer out to buy eBay. Okay, I like eBay. I like GameStop when it was around when I was a kid. Except for how they screw you over when you try to trade shit in and they steal money from you. But yeah, I do like eBay though, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Big death of the week. Rest in peace to Ted Turner. Ted Turner, of course, if you watched cable TV in the infancy in the late 80s, early 90s, there were teen channels. And 2 of those channels were TBS and TNT. And he created those. He created CNN, the news network, of course. And of course, in the 70s, he was obsessed with wrestling, and he bought a little Georgia wrestling company, and started putting it on his TV networks, which ended up turning into WCW. which he, of course, went against Vince McMahon in the late 80s, early 90s, into the 90s, into the early 2000s. And WCW was born through his love of wrestling. And of course, the big acquisition was Hulk Hogan, and from that point forward, WCW became a viable candidate to fight them.
I saw somebody tweet that he did what any billionaire should do with their money, and that's spend it on baseball because he bought the Atlanta Braves and wrestling.
Yep. Founded CNN in 1980. He was 87 years old, and of course, he created the very first 24-hour cable network TV for news, and that was CNN. So, rest in peace to Ted Turner. A lot of old school wrestling wrestlers and wrestling fans are coming out of the woodwork, saying how he had the balls to go against Vince McMahon, the king of all things wrestling. The whole family, of course, of WWF, and he had the balls to go against them. He also had the money too.
Yes.
And he also the other thing about him is he paid his wrestlers.
Yes.
He actually paid them good
guaranteed money.
Guaranteed money, which is still not happening in the WWF. Still not happening at all. Rest in peace to Ted Turner. Speaking of wrestling, a couple of the wrestling notes I want to talk about. Sports Illustrated came out with a list of the greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. Top of the list, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have the rest of the top 20. Number 2, Hulk Hogan. Okay. Number 3, The Rock. Number 4, John Cena. Number 5, Roman Reigns. They're already talking about the top guys who they put on the top pedestal for the last 30, 40 years.
Yep.
Understandable. All those guys. Number 6, Undertaker. Undertaker's always been skirted on that level. Same with Triple H. Shawn Michaels should have been higher. Bret Hart should have been higher. He was number 9. Back to school, old school days, Bruno Sammartino. I know how huge he was before Hulk Hogan.
Didn't he have the belt for like 14 years or something like that?
Right. And he was the face of wrestling before there was actually a TV network. So I could see him being higher on the list.
He got wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
Where Hulk Hogan just skyrocketed wrestling on TV.
Right. Randy Savage, number 11. Kurt Angle, number 12. Not sure about that. Roddy Piper, number 13. Edge, 14. Don't know about that either. Randy Orton, number 15. Andre the Giant, number 16. Should have been way higher.
Yeah. He almost should be up there with Bruno.
Right, yeah. CM Punk, he should be like top 5. CM Punk, number 17. Chris Jericho, number 18. Mick Foley, number 19. Mick Foley was huge right in the Millennium era. And number 20, Becky Lynch, the only woman on the list. Crazy.
I don't know about Jericho either, even though he's like my third favorite wrestler of all time. But I love
Jericho's involved.
Yeah,
Jericho's involved in so much during, especially like the last.
I mean, he went through
20 years.
He was like Japan to ECW, WCW, WF, and now he's in AEW. So,
and he just kept creating new characters from that Chris Jericho character he already created. He just kept evolving that character, which is crazy. I don't think anybody's ever done that. Besides Mick Foley, he did it too, but not to that extent.
Right.
Speaking of wrestling, cannot wait for this Dark Side of the Ring season 7 coming out July 7th. Finally got a date. We got all the episodes coming out. A 3-part special on TNA Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett is going to open up the season. Episode 2, Paul Orndorff. Episode 3 about the Big Boss Man. They're going to show him getting hung at WrestleMania 15, I'm sure. Episode 3, 4, 5, 6, Missy Hyatt. Episode 7, going to tackle a match, Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe. Don't know anything about that.
I don't either, so I'm looking forward to it.
Episode 8, Zach Gowen. Zach Gowen's the guy that wrestled with no leg. I remember that, and Vince McMahon wrestled him and all that. And Rick Wilson of the Renegade. Don't know anything about that either. That's going to be the finale. Comes out July 7th. We love Dark Side of the Ring because they tell wrestling stories. It's reminiscent of the Bruce Pritchard podcast, just telling behind-the-scenes wrestling stories. We both love that. So, Gen V has been canceled at Prime, Amazon Prime, after 2 seasons. Kind of going off the boys leaving. There's going to be a Vaught Rising show, which is kind of what this last episode of The Boys we watched sets up. With I can't remember his name, and of course Soldier Boy, set in the early days of Soups back in the day. But Gen V, which we both liked, has been canceled. We're not sure where those characters are going to show up. I think Marie Moreau, whatever her name is, going to show up in this season at the end. But she's probably the only one that can kill Homelander at this point. So we'll have to wait and see. The Boys Vought Rising. Going to release sometime in 2027. Origins of Stormfront and Soldier Boy. Follows a twisted murder mystery set in the 1950s. So there you go. It's more about that. Harry Potter. It's going to have an early season 2 renewal at HBO. Chamber of Secrets is going to start filming in the fall. They're going to try to go yearly with that as well, because the way the kids age, of course, and they want to tell that year to year story. So understandable. Got a brand new poster for Stuart Saves the Universe. This is, of course, the Big Bang Theory spinoff, starring all the side characters from the Big Bang Theory. I do like that show, so I'm probably going to watch this. And Casper, getting a live action series at Disney Plus. Steven Spielberg is involved in that. Say what you will about Casper. It's kind of one of those weird, tormented, weird movies from the 90s. Of course, it's based off the comic strip and the comics from way back in the day. Yeah, still Steven Spielberg in charge of that. Tires season 3 coming out on August 13th. Love that show. Shane Gillis, of course. Love that show. Cannot wait. And a brand new Ghostbusters animated series also coming out on Netflix in 2027. Dan Aykroyd is going to executive produce it. I'm not sure if it's a continuation of real Ghostbusters or a continuation of the new Ghostbusters or what it is. I believe we're going to get some news on that towards the end of the month, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Dexter news, a couple of casting announcements. Kane Holder. Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies is going to be has been cast in Dexter Resurrection as one of the killers, as well as Chris Jericho is going to be a lead villain role, and they've already shown him fighting in the streets of New York City with Dexter chasing him down and putting the needle in him. So there you go. And Rush Hour 4. I ended up watching Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3 this week. I hadn't seen him in a while. Mostly because of the Michael Jackson kick I've been in, and of course their friendship and all that. But they have turned down the initial offers for Rush Hour 4, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, because they offered them $8 million each. They previously made $20 million for the last film. Yeah, it's been delayed. It was supposed to start in September, the earliest, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, there's a lot of controversy with that too, because Brett Ratner and him being canceled, and Trump being a fan of the Ellisons. I don't remember the whole story, but yeah. In weird news that came out this week, Planet of the Apes, a new movie is in the works. Matt Shakman, who directed the Fantastic Four, is going to direct it, but it's not going to be a continuation of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's actually going to be a reboot set up like the old Planet of the Apes, where kind of like where Mark Wahlberg did in the year 2000, where it's actually going to show the spacecraft coming into the Planet of the Apes, and probably the big reveal at the end, of course, with the Statue of Liberty. And all that. So it's going to be back to the beginning, back to the drawing board of where that whole series started. So I like Matt Shakman. I do like how they, since it's not going to be a continuation of the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or anything, it's going to be a brand new story, and Caesar's not going to be involved. So we'll see. I like Matt Shakman. Not going to shit on it yet. Hocus Pocus 3 moving forward at Disney. Like the first one, second was okay. It's going to be in the theaters. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy are all reprising their roles. Universal has delayed Miami Vice 85. That's the movie with Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler. It's going to be delayed to 2028 from 2027 August. That's going to be in May of 2028, 2 years from now. It's going to be set in the 80s. They did announce that, so cannot wait. Mummy 4 got moved up. It was supposed to go out 2028. Now it's coming out October 15th, 2027. They're getting ready to film that. Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah all reprising their roles for that. And Long Legs. I don't think I ever talked to you about Long Legs. Yeah. There's going to be a sequel coming out. And it's coming out on January 14th of 2028. That stars Nicolas Cage. That's all I know about it. Osgood Perkins, who's the son of Anthony Perkins, who was in Psycho. Oh, that's all I know about it. And I don't know. Did you like that first movie at all?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah, that's probably why we haven't talked about it much. So yeah. And we got a brand new poster for Masters of the Universe. We saw the trailer in the big screen last night. Still seems a little 80s cartoonish to me, so I don't know. It comes out June 5th. We'll see how the reviews are on it. I think Jared Leto may have chewed all the scenery that was on set, so we'll have to wait and see. Brand new poster for a scary movie. I guess it's 6. They're just calling it Scary Movie. I don't know. But brand new poster reminiscent of the first one that came out in the year 99. So I like that. So we'll have to wait and see. Brand new poster for Super Troopers 3. Trailer came out a few weeks ago. Saw it before the movie last night. So looks funny. Second one was terrible. First one is great. So I don't know. John Cena and Eric Andre having a movie come out. I believe it's a Netflix movie. I'm not really sure. Called Little Brother. A couple first looks of that. Okay. Not sure about it. And a Django and Zorro movie based off a comic book that was written by Quentin Tarantino in 2014. It's an untitled movie. It's going to happen revolving around a brand new story. Tarantino's not going to be directing it, but somebody else will. But it's going to be based off of his comic book. So, yeah, it's going to be Django Unchained and Zorro. Hopefully Jamie Foxx comes back and maybe Anthony Banderas will come back. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I never watched those Zorro.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Those
That's one of my
movies, no.
favorite movie of all time is The Mask of Zorro. It is fucking amazing. I love that movie.
A lot of people have that on one of their top superhero or action
it's like
movies. So, yeah.
Probably top 15 movie of all time for me. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we'll definitely put that on the list for me to watch. Christopher Lloyd announced that he's making a memoir about his whole entire life called In My Own Time. Oh, that's Django and Zorro there. In My Own Time, a memoir. With the art for that as well. So, yeah, coming out, I believe. I don't have the date there. I think it's the end of the year. And a concept art for a new animated film done by Brad Bird, he did The Incredibles, which is awesome, called Ray Gun. Film follows a private inspector drawn to a case involving aliens and murder, all in the alternate futuristic city of Metropia. It looks very much reminiscent of the serials of the 1930s. Of course, you're already looking at like Batman, the animated series kind of art. So, yeah, releasing sometime later this year on Netflix. So keep an eye on that. It looks pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of like The Rocketeer and all that type of art.
Yes.
So, yeah. Greta Gerwig's Narnia film, officially titled Narnia the Magician's Nephew, the very first book for C.S. Lewis, will come out on a full IMAX theatrical release in 2027. It's supposed to come out in 2026, coming out February 12th, 2027. And it's going to come out on Netflix on April 2nd, a couple months after. But the IMAX screening is going to happen on February 12th, February 10th. So, I love those. When I was growing up, I loved the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and all that story of Aslan and all that. I love that. So, I'm hoping Netflix treats this right. Kind of going to be their Netflix next big IP that they're going to tackle. So keep an eye on that. What we got? Casting for the live action Tangled movie. Diego Luna joined the cast of Tangled, joining as a brand new character created specifically for this movie. Wasn't in the animated film. So yeah, Catherine Hahn in that. So yeah, cannot wait. And Gina Carano. She's going to be in a fight, I believe. Is it this weekend or next week? Next weekend, I think, with Rhonda.
Yeah, next weekend.
Gina Carano in talks to maybe return to Lucasfilm after being kicked out in 2024 after she sued them and all that. She's already talked to Dave Filoni and John Favreau. They had a Zoom call, had conversations. I guess she was on Ariel Helwani's show. So yeah, I loved her in that show. That's where I first know her from. I know you knew her from MMA, but I didn't. And I thought she was great in the show, and it kind of sucked the last season when she wasn't a part of it. So, yeah, I hope she does come back in some way. Speaking of Star Wars, brand new trailer for Galactic Racer launches on October 6th. They showed the live footage of it, what it looks like. It's all about pod racing and all that. So, looks good. And Fortnite launched 3 all new Star Wars games on May 1st.
Yep.
Did you end up playing any of these?
I have not played them yet. No.
Galactic Siege was an interactive battle between the Rebels and the Empire. Droid Tycoon was basically where you have major iconic Star Wars droids and you're doing weird stuff and creating them. And Epic Vader is a first-person kind of escape room experience with Darth Vader chasing you. You have to run away from him. All set in the Fortnite game. You go in there and you find these levels, I guess, and play them. I don't know anything about them, but yeah, looked interesting. 4-player co-op, and you have to run, hide, and attempt to survive a terrifying Sith Lord. So yeah, looked kind of cool. Announced today, Nintendo announced that the Switch 2 is going to be rising in price by $50 in America.
Glad I got mine.
Because of all the. Yeah, glad you did. I didn't get mine, but because of all the market conditions, of course, and hard drives and RAM chips are all either out of stock or just overly high priced. But yeah, going up from $449 to $499, which is fucking crazy. There's a Nintendo system that's almost $500 or just under $500. But when a new Zelda game comes out, I may be tempted to spend that much, but that's a lot of fucking money. What's the PS5? What's the PS5 now? Like 700, something like that.
I think 6.
Yeah, crazy. Star Fox. It was announced this week. A brand new Star Fox game is coming out.
It's
Star
not
Fox,
though. It's a remake of Star Fox
not.
64. Which was a remake of Star Fox on Super Nintendo, and they're going to charge $70 for it.
Which looks great because they did redo the graphics.
It looks awesome. But like that game's got like 8 hours of gameplay or something. Like they're not long games, so
right.
It looks really good though.
Hopefully they don't charge $60 for it. Well, I don't know if they redid the graphics. Yeah, right.
It's Nintendo.
So yeah. Other than that, don't know any. I don't think I've ever played a Star Fox game, so I don't know.
Oh, they're fun.
Besides seeing them in Super Mario Galaxy, Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight comes out at the end of the month, getting rave reviews. The new trailer came out with "Kiss from a Rose" playing, which was awesome. And it's gonna be. It's just everybody who's played it says it reminds them a lot of the Arkham games.
Yes.
Which is like top tier, not only like superhero game, just top tier action game. So yeah, I cannot wait to get a reaction, whether it be from you or anybody, to see how it really is a full game before I decide to put my money.
I'm waiting because it comes out the week after Bond, so I'm waiting till the fall. But I'll get your reactions. All my people in my Discord are getting it, so I'll let you know how they feel about it.
Yeah. Is there any pre-order bonuses for it? Do you know?
I'm assuming there usually is.
Yeah, there probably is free characters and stuff. A Venom game was in the works at Insomniac. It was canceled after the passing of Tony Todd. Understandable. Did you ever finish those the Spider-Man game for Spider-Man 2 I never finished it. And I was so fucking hyped for it. I bought the statue game and everything. I never finished it. I want to get back into that. Of course, Venom, my favorite character of all time. I don't know why I never finished it, but definitely want to. And got a couple of new popcorn buckets. I hope I put these on here. I don't know if I did. Space Jam 30th anniversary comes out at the end of this month. We got a basketball space shaped cup, and we got a what looks like to be a popcorn game from like an arcade of shooting popcorn in a basket. Okay, it looks weird. AMC Theaters exclusive. Let's talk about some swag.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
Strictly limited to 500 pieces. We've got a brand new slip cover, the complete screenplay of Back to the Future 1, which art looks incredible. It looks awesome. It's only 500, so it's gonna be sold out. Probably extremely expensive. But it's got a whole bunch of rare photographs, images. Introduction by Bob Gale, forward by Robert Zemeckis. It's all fully illustrated, authentic replica of Bob Gale's original shooting script and more. So it looks like a great collector's item, but again, probably way out of our range. Speaking of Back to the Future, I think it's Bradford Exchange is coming out with a brand new alarm clock, which is all Back to the Future based, which looks fucking cool. It's Doc Brown on the clock tower where the lightning hits it. Looks awesome. Hamilton finally coming out on 4K Blu-ray, I believe in the beginning or middle of June. This is definitely going to be picked up by yours truly because I love Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with a whole bunch of extras. Comes with the song notes and everything else. So cannot wait for that. Brand new. There's a picture of that. Brand new Lego for Herbie from the Fantastic Four. Coming out. Brand new Herbie. Also, brand new Technic, Lego Technic figure, remote control of the tumbler from the Batmobile from Batman. Looks awesome, especially if it's remote control. Also, speaking of Lego, every year they've come out with a new system. They had Nintendo, they had Super Nintendo, and this year they're coming out with a Sega Genesis replica made out of Lego. So there you go. McFarlane figure, Don Corleone from The Godfather. You got that holding the cat. We got some old school vault collection from McFarlane coming out of Superman, the Joker, and Batman from The Dark Knight. Those are coming out sometime this summer. We got a brand new first peek look at the Hulk from Spider-Man Brand New Day in Hasbro in Funko Pop form. That's them right there. And we got some other horror-related Funko Pops. We got Silence of the Lamb. We got Hamster in his cage. We got Carrie from the movie Carrie. Killer Clowns. We got Poltergeist 2. I only see the first one, so pretty cool. And Hot Toys coming out with a Wesley Snipes Blade figure, which looks incredible from Deadpool and Wolverine. It looks awesome. Comes with a whole bunch of weapons and accessories from that movie. So, yeah. Rest in peace to Gary Conway. He was 73 years old. He co-created The Punisher, Ben Reilly, Firestorm, Jason Todd for DC. But he also wrote The Night Gwen Stacy Died, which has been adapted in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, with Captain Stacy and Gwen Stacy both die. So that's probably his most iconic comic he ever created. But he is all over the 70s. A lot of his art. So rest in peace to him. The Punisher. That's our next MCU thing we're going to be watching. The Punisher One Last Kill comes out in just a few days. We'll talk about it next week. But it's some brand new posters that came out today with that, with John Bernthal right in the center there. Yeah, cannot wait. I know you watched My Adventures with Superman. We get a brand new look at the next season with Cyborg Superman taking center stage on HBO Max. Comes out June 13th, season 3. Worth me getting into. Do you think I should watch that show?
I fucking love that show. You'd love it. It's quick. I think it's like 10 half-hour episodes, if they're even a half hour. It's really good.
Okay. I'll get into that then. And Matt Reeves, just yesterday, posted new pictures of him kind of doing test shots for the Batman 2. Testing out hashtag snow tires. Confirming that the setting is going to be in the snow, which we said, probably 2 years ago we started saying this should be set in the snow. Set up Mr. Freeze. I'm wondering if that will happen or not. We'll have to wait and see. But getting ready to jump into production on that. And we got some brand new first looks for Lanterns. A couple of pictures that James Gunn posted and I believe Screen Rant posted. Cannot wait for that show. Officially premiering August 16th on HBO Max. An official date for that.
So that picks up right a few weeks after House of the Dragon ends. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, like I told you, June going into August is going to be crazy for us. Lots to watch, lots of geeky shit. So, brand new first looks for Supergirl as well. Cannot wait for that movie. She looks awesome. She just looks great as Supergirl. So yeah, cannot wait. And Matthew Lillard has been cast in Man of Tomorrow. Not sure who he's going to be playing. I heard
Commissioner
Elongated
Gordon?
Man. I heard Commissioner Gordon.
I've seen Plastic Man and
I heard that.
Gordon. Yep.
So yeah, we'll talk about that next year. This picture James Gunn posted about it with his longtime friend. Also, James Gunn addressing the status of 2 DCU shows, Paradise Lost and Booster Gold. According to him, Booster Gold remains in development, while Wonder Woman is in extreme development, the prequel series. So, it must be close then. James Gunn also says the Authority film isn't happening anytime soon. It didn't work in terms of the larger DCU, both in terms of the story and practical concerns. So, in other words, coming up with the universe did not fit. Understandable. He's kind of building as he goes. I get that.
Yep.
Also, finally, he's kind of planning maybe podcast episodes to talk about the Suicide Squad and Blue Beetle and where those DCU canon is going to be specified, like he did with the first episode of Peacemaker season 2, kind of retconning season 1. He's going to do the same with Blue Beetle and do the same with the Suicide Squad and the one from 2016 and what's canon, what's not canon. Which he did in his podcast with Peacemaker season 2 as well. So that's kind of what he's hinted to here. I believe I may have a picture of it as well. So yeah, that's it for our show this week. Next week we got The Boys penultimate episode. We got Euphoria episode 5.
Be careful, there are spoilers for The Boys out everywhere. Luckily, I don't see many people posting about The Boys. I don't interact with Boys posts. Pause. But so I haven't seen any of them. But my buddy Ethan, who's in the Discord I have with you, is like, yeah, it's all true apparently. But nobody knows anything about the finale as of now. So
the only rumblings I saw is that everything that would happen in this last episode with Homelander was already predicted like a year ago. And that's all I saw.
Yeah, I think that's where the leak came from. And if you look at the title of the episode, you can kind of tell what may or may not happen, who may or may not survive the situation, is my guess based on it. But yeah.
Okay. The Lauren documentary, I have that. I'm going to watch that. Also going to watch the Martin Short documentary. I forgot to add that to the list. But the big thing we're going to talk about next week is the Punisher One Last Kill special presentation. Comes out on Tuesday. The month of May, the 22nd, we got the Mandalorian and Grogu. Same day, Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight Lego game comes out. On the 27th, the other big thing we're going to review this month is Spider Noir. First episode's drop of that on Prime. And you're going to be talking about the 007 First Light game at the end of the month, too. So cannot wait for that. Get your reactions.
I'm hoping I've got 2 days off right now. I'm really hoping that sticks for that week, too, because it comes out on like Wednesday, and I'm getting Thursday, Friday off. So that would be awesome. I'll get a fucking pork butt to smoke and play Bond.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I can't wait to get your reaction to that. So we'll talk about that then. Thank you, everybody. We will be back next week, and we'll talk about all that other stuff. We'll talk about the Punisher, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Deuces.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you, talking all things geeky from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you wanna be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Geek Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blurred. Join us each week for a geeky chat with the latest scoop and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek Blurb, we're here to entertain, bringing you the best